Hello and welcome to Notice Tonight, the show that decodes the region. Has the Congress in Assam made a blunder by aligning with the AIUDF? According to views in circulation, several regional parties would have been able to side with the Mahajot or the Grand Alliance if Congress would not have let the AIUDF into its fold. But does this view hold merit? Many say yes, because in any case the AIUDF has a hold in just about 20 assembly seats. Question also arises, how would new regional parties like the AJP would have joined the Congress-led alliance minus the AIUDF? That's the question. Would regional parties like the AJP would have joined the Grand Alliance minus the AIUDF? That is the question. The other view is that the Congress had no alternative other than aligning with the AIUDF in order to prevent a split in anti-BJP votes. Now, will it be correct to assume that the Congress is making claims of winning the ensuing elections depending primarily on AIUDF support in all the minority-dominated areas? How sound is the Congress-AIUDF alliance? The Congress's Bodo ally, the Bodoland People's Front leader, Hagrama Mohilari, has already said they would like to field candidates in all the 12 seats in the Bodo heartland. The bigger question is whether the ruling BJP would have been able to target the Congress viciously had the AIUDF not been its ally. After all, the BJP has made AIUDF Supremo Maulana Badruddin Ajmal its prime target in these elections. The charge, of course, is that the Maulana is trying to polarize the society in Assam. We will listen shortly, we will listen to what Dr. Himanta Biswa Sharma has said. He has said recently that the Congress is not a factor, but Maulana Badruddin Ajmal is definitely a factor. This is a bite which Dr. Himanta Biswa Sharma had given. He said that Maulana Badruddin Ajmal is definitely a factor in Assam elections, but not the Congress to that extent. I think our producers will get this bite soon. We'll play it to you to discuss the issue. I am joined by Assam Congress spokesperson Dr. Jury Sharma Bordoloi. AIUDF spokesman Champak Kalita is also with me. Joining me as well is Assam BJP Vice President Swapnanil Baruah. AJP spokesman Amrit Khataniar is also with me. From Guwahati University, I am joined by Dr. Rajib, Handique, professor and commentator, and I am also joined by commentator Shyam, Kanu, Mahanta. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Notice Tonight. I'll first go to you, Dr. Jury Sharma Bordoloi. The question many people are asking: has the Congress made a blunder or a mistake by aligning with the AIUDF? The people are asking this question because there is a feeling, there is a perception that many regional parties would have possibly been in a position to join the Mahajot led by the Congress had AIUDF not been in the fold.
First of all, let me answer the question in a different way. Let the question be whatever, but the answer is after all election. And election, when it comes to election, it's the matter of numbers. And when it comes to number, winnability is always a factor. So whether the regional party would have been an ally or not, that doesn't arise now. Whatsoever, we don't expect them to get a lot of seats. But yes, AIUDF and Congress had not done any blunder with alliance with AIUDF. It's not only AIUDF. We have aligned with a lot of Anchalik, even the Deori, that Jimo Chayan party, they have joined with us. BPPF has joined with us. RJD has joined with us. We have different CPI, CPML, CPIML, CPM. We all are together. It's not a matter of like one party or the other. Yes, we are together in a grand Mahajot. It's a grand alliance. It's not only an alliance with the AIUDF. And I don't find, first of all,
I'm talking about the AIUDF because in your alliance, nobody can deny the fact that if you keep the BPF aside, the AIUDF is the biggest ally apart from when you talk about the left parties hardly has a presence in Assam today.
No doubt about it, because they had always been a part of the democratic system and they have been elected in 20 seats, 20 seats they had a say over it. So Congress had worked out a proper alliance with the AIUDF for the matter of the numbers. It's not about what people are saying right now. People have understood, because we have to uproot the BJP government, which is the actual communal party, which is actually polarizing the society. we have to fight against
We'll
it.
come
We
back
have to, yeah, Congress has a different say, different look at the, political ally. They have to feel, they are trying to make the people feel that, yeah, we are there for the people, so and we are there with the ally who are actually working towards the people's
The argument which the Congress is making, viewers, is that AIUDF is an ally, but the Mahajot, led by the Congress, also has other political parties. But I am making my point, I am asking this question or raising this question, whether the Congress has made a blunder only because the AIUDF is the dominant player in the Congress-led alliance. Let me ask our AIUDF spokesman Champak Kalita is there. I'll come to you, Champak Kalita, but first let me go to Amrit Khataniar. Mr. Amrit Khataniar, you have always said, you have always been saying, the AJP, Mr. Khataniar, has always been saying that you will maintain an equidistance from both the Congress as well as the BJP. Fine. But at the end of the day, you are contesting the election, you are a new party, your objective is to target the BJP, which is the ruling party. Had the AIUDF not been a part of the Mahajot, now don't give me that same answer saying that, oh, we are against the Congress as well as the BJP. I am expecting a nuanced answer from you. Had the AIUDF not been a part of the Congress, would the AJP had at least considered whether or not to join the Congress-led alliance?
Not at all. We still have the same views that we are propagating from day one. We are a newly born regional party, and our aims and objectives and the basic motto is totally different from the national parties. So I again reiterate, had it not been AIUDF and Congress, till then, we would have not gone with the merge with Congress, because we have seen all the national parties, be it Congress, be it BJP, even at the cost of reputation, have done so much of betrayal to the people of Assam. So we are here to safeguard the interest, the language, the culture of Assamese people in different perspectives.
Mr. Amrit Khataniar, I don't know whether that is your personal view or that is the view of the Assam Jatiya Parishad, because only today someone close to the AJP and Rajib said that the Congress had promised not to field candidates against Lurinjyoti Gogoi and Akhil Gogoi, but the Congress has fielded candidates and therefore the Congress has betrayed. This kind of statement, I don't know, I'm not saying that whether it is true or not, but this kind of statement indicates that there was some kind of an expectation that the Congress will at least back some of the top leaders of your party.
That is their perception, but so far our mottos and our principles are concerned, we have formed that we are not going to do any alliance with the national parties or communal parties. That is very clear. There is no doubt about it. There is no doubt about it, and so there should not be any confusion in the people of the mind, in the minds of the people of the Assam. It's very clear.
So Champak Kalita ji, I am coming to you. Swapnanil Baruah. See, the entire Mahajot has been formed basically to target your party.
Yes.
The entire Mahajot has been formed to target your party.
Yes.
On the other side, the AJP and the Rajib says that their main objective is to target the BJP, meaning to defeat the BJP.
Yes.
Let's be blunt. Now the point is, do you think there is all-around confusion? Do you get a sense that there is confusion prevailing? Because the AJP is repeatedly saying, oh, AIUDF is a communal party, we cannot join the Congress. AIUDF is a communal party, will not side with them. BJP is a communal party, so on and so forth. In the end, AJP and Rajib is contesting the election, but they are contesting against each other, Rajib and AJP in many seats.
Yes.
That alliance also has a huge question mark on the alliance.
Wasbir, although I should not be commenting on it, being from the BJP on the other side of the spectrum, but I think that BJP has created so much of an aura, if you may say so, or it has set its objectives so very clear in the minds of the people that our opponents are finding it difficult to find a chink in our armor and actually find an issue or raise a cause to come against us on a unified front. So they have been doing some shadow boxing, saying that BJP is a communal party, BJP is that, but when it comes to the ground, they themselves have not been able to come together. So it is like, a good Indian cricket team being solid on one side and the other side, our recent opponents, as we have seen in the test matches, where the opposition has fallen apart, because they have not been able to find anything in our armor.
I don't know whether Handique, Dr. Rajib Handique is with us. Okay, Dr. Rajib Handique, I'm coming to you. Dr. Rajib Handique joining me from Guwahati University. Okay, we have lost the link to Dr. Rajib Handique. We'll come back to that. Mr. Shyam Kanu Mahanta, we are discussing whether the Congress has made a blunder by aligning with the AIUDF. Whether, if the AIUDF would not have been a part of the Mahajot, do you think other regional parties like the Assam Jatiya Parishad, despite the fact that Assam Jatiya Parishad has been saying that no, we will not align with any national party, do you think the chances would have been there, at least to some extent, of these kind of parties joining the Mahajot?
If I talk on personal capacity, I would like Congress to fight it alone, because I believe Congress is a legacy of Gopinath Bordoloi, and their main strength, they can take both Hindus and Muslim together. And Assam is a very complex structure. So if you look at Congress, if they have fought alone, I thought they could have done well. But at the same time, of late I have been traveling across Assam, and I have realized that AIUDF is a force. And that force multiplier happens when Congress and AIUDF comes together. Politically or electoral perspective, I think Congress has done a good thing by tying up with AIUDF for getting some seat. Getting some seat, it will ensure in Lower Assam and the Middle Assam around 30 plus seats is booked to Congress-AIUDF alliance. So that is number one. Number two, Assam Jatiya Parishad and Rajib, very sorry to say, they are nowhere right now in terms of their strategy, in terms of their agenda of NTCA has been hijacked by Congress. What Congress has done? Congress has realized they have taken over Lower Assam and Middle Assam. Now they have to get 15 seats in Upper Assam and Northern Assam. What they have realized, every constituency, last few days I have been traveling nook and corner of Upper Assam and Northern Assam. Every constituency around 5,000-6,000 NTCA votes. If the vote goes to Congress, the Congress becomes a formidable force. On today's date, if Congress leadership, which is a very fragmented Congress leadership, desires to fight together, I think Congress hijacking the Assam Jatiya Parishad and Rajib vote will be a formidable opposition and get some marginal seats which might give them a lift. But BJP in a much stronger positioning because of the very strong organizational structure. If you see the dissidents, the number of dissidents candidates are much lesser. And most importantly, BJP has gone their wind speed, which is taking them forward with a very aggressive campaigning by Dr. Himanta Biswa Sharma and his team. And with Modi coming in, it will be an interesting fight. But as on today, BJP
we will discuss all of that. Let me come to you, Mr. Champak Kalita. Champak Kalita, ये बताइए कि ये जो कहा जा रहा है कि कांग्रेस ने क्या गलती किया कि आपका दल के साथ अलायंस करके क्या गलती किया, आपका क्या व्यू है इसमें?
देखिए, अभी तो आज का पूरा डिस्कशन इफ्स एंड बट्स पे है कि जो हो गया, अगर नहीं होता, ये नहीं होता, मेरा पिताजी के साथ मेरा मम्मी का शादी नहीं होता तो मैं पैदा नहीं होता, ऐसी वाली बात है। जो बहरहाल अभी कुछ तो लोग कहेंगे, लोगों का काम है कहना, तो क्या चीज़ है, तेरा नाम क्या है, यहाँ तो सीता भी बदनाम है, AIUDF क्या चीज़ है। अभी इसीलिए AIUDF के साथ कांग्रेस का साथ AIUDF को आना, AIUDF का साथ कांग्रेस का आना, ये ऐसा एक फील गुड फैक्टर, ऐसा एक फोर्स बन गया। अभी जो पेड़ में फल होता है, बच्चे उसी को पत्थर मारते हैं। इसीलिए अभी जब हाथ से निकल गई, बस मिस हो गई बीजेपी की, BPF भी आ गया और सभी लोगों ने सर्टिफिकेट दे दिया कि जो असली में AIUDF है, ये सही में सेकुलर पार्टी है, रीजनल पार्टी है, का को नहीं मानने वाला है, आसाम सुक्ति को मानने वाला है, आसाम का डेवलपमेंट, इकोनॉमी, अनएम्प्लॉयड, सब में इनका जो प्रिंसिपल है, इनका जो आइडियोलॉजी है, ये हम लोगों से डिफर नहीं करता है। इसीलिए अभी सबसे बड़ी बात है, अभी श्याम कानू महंत ने भी बोला कि अभी कांग्रेस ने अच्छा किया। अभी हमारा जूरी बोर्डले ने भी बोला कि ये AIUDF का जो एजेंडा है, आज 15 साल हो गए,
अच्छा किया, but ideologically I do not want Congress with AIUDF. And another thing, I have serious doubt about AIUDF as a secular party. I have serious doubt as a secular party. I do not believe at all.
देखिए, AIUDF का आप बोल देगा ना कि आज मैं बोला कि वाजबीर जी ठीक नहीं है, लेकिन मुझे पॉइंट देना पड़ेगा, ये पैरामीटर्स है, वाजबीर जी, इसीलिए मैं कह रहा हूं कि AIUDF कम्युनल है। किस किस कारण से कम्युनल है? वाजबीर जी फिर मुझे बोलेंगे कि एक ही कारण है क्या कि उनका मजहब मुसलमान है प्रेसिडेंट, इसका छोड़कर कोई कारण नहीं है, क्योंकि हर लीडर, हर पार्टी का लीडर कोई ना कोई मजहब से जुड़ा हुआ है। नहीं तो आज तक जब से AIUDF का जन्म हुआ है, एक ऐसा एजेंडा जो AIUDF पार्टी ने किया जो कम्युनल है।
आपका नेता ने बोला है कि अगर बीजेपी आएगा तो असम में अजान का आवाज नहीं सुनाई
Exactly,
देगा,
not
मस्जिद
communal,
तोड़ा
not
जाएगा,
communal,
ये
not
सब
com-
क्या है?
ना तो ये अखलाक क्या है, जुनैद
No,
क्या
वो
है,
छोड़िए।
क्यों
Let us
छोड़ेंगे?
forget, let us-
सत्तर
we are
बड़ा क्या
talking-
है, सिलादिन
we
तक क्या है?
are
अभी
talking about Assam elections.
35
अब असम
नहीं,
elections में रहिए।
मियाँ का वोट
अब
नहीं
असम में
चाहिए,
रहिए।
what is this?
अब असम
नहीं,
में
नहीं,
रहिए।
नहीं, ये तो अपना सेफ्टी के
आप
लिए कह रहा है।
असम
देखिए
में
आप
रहिए।
देखिए, नहीं,
अब
मैं
असम
आसाम में
elections
रह रहा
में रहिए।
हूँ। आप ये एक यूनिवर्सल माने अब बात है कि माइनॉरिटी कभी भी अटैक के लिए यूनाइटेड नहीं
Okay.
होता है, हमेशा
Now,
डिफेंस
let
के
me-
लिए।
let me go to-
ये
let
एक
me-
अपना
let
फिनोमेना
me-
है
let
और
me-
ये अपने आप
एक
को
मिनट
सिक्योर कर रहा है।
let me go
शंका कर रहा है।
to let me go to Dr. Judy Bordoloi. I'm coming to you, Mr. Amrit Khataniar, because you have to respond to what Shyam Mahanta has said. But my question to you, Dr. Judy Bordoloi, is this: now top BJP leader Dr. Himanta Biswa Sharma has categorically said publicly that Ajmal is a factor, but Congress is not. Now, Ajmal is a factor because he said,
let me answer it in a different way.
let me put it in context. Why did Dr. Himanta Biswa Sharma say that? He said that BJP is seeing this contest as a clash of civilizations. That in that context, he said that Ajmal is a factor, but Congress is not. So the attack, the level of attack, the viciousness of the attack that the BJP has leveled against the AIUDF, do you think that would against the Congress? Do you think an AIUDF? Do you think that would not have happened had you not taken AIUDF as your ally? That is my question.
Not at all. I have again, at the very start of the conversation, I have said that it's the question of political decision. It's a question of number when it comes to election. So the ally had took place. I will not comment what AIUDF had been there as communal, not communal, whatever. But here it comes when Himanta Biswa Sharma has commented against Congress, that Congress is not the factor, is something very, I find it very ridiculous, because they are communal, BJP is communal, as well as they think that AIUDF is communal, so they are attacking AIUDF directly, because Congress has been always in the center. They have been always secular, they have been always progressive in their way, and Congress, as Shyam ji has said, that if Congress would have contested alone, it would have been great. But see, here it comes a political decision. And when it comes to political decision for an election, it's the question of number again. So we have been very, very happy with the alliance with AIUDF. And now the BJP is really scared about after the alliance with all other, fronts like BPPF, then CPIM, CPM. Again, I'm telling about all the organizations, all the Anshalik Gana Mancha also.
But you had an alliance with the AIUDF during the recently concluded BTR elections. You have seen Badruddin Ajmal Saab and APCC President Ripun Bora campaigning together, getting down from the same helicopter in the same dais. Then the Congress won only one seat in BTR. So is that alliance, if the alliance would have been so great, why did you perform so poorly in the BTR elections?
BTR, actually, we have not been, I have, in previous shows, I have told people that Congress had not been there for last 15 years. It's a weakness of Congress in BTR region.
Right.
Because we have not been there as a strong organization because of our alliance with BPF. When Congress was there in power, BPF was with UPA. So we never had a strong ally or a strong hold in BTR area. So the result was totally different. But now, overall, if you see in BTR, BJP has failed actually.
Okay. Now,
their BPF has actually come as the strongest party, and now BPF is with us. So this is again a number. It's a question of number.
BPF is with you because BPF perhaps had no option after the BJP.
No, again here I will say
ties.
that UPPL has also been in a split with BJP. After some, I know, on 8th of March, we have seen some people talking about how Himanta Biswa Sharma is trying to blackmail the UPL leader.
Okay,
so
we'll have to see results at the end of the day. Voters
on
will
2nd
decide.
of May,
But let me
will
go
be
to
clear.
Dr. Rajib
Everything will be
Handique from
clear.
Guwahati University. Dr. Rajib Handique is live on the phone line because we have lost his video line. Okay, Rajib Handique has... Dr. Rajib Handique, simple question. Would the Congress have done better had it not aligned with the AIUDF? This is a simple question to you.
I think they would not have done better, and I think that was a very considered decision. I think we all remember the famous quote of former Chief Minister Tarun Gogoi ji when he said, "Who is Badruddin?" And from there, he also made a volte-face, and later on, he tied up with him. So indeed, Badruddin Ajmal and his party has been a factor also. And regarding this person, Badruddin, I think he has more been vilified. There is a type of stereotyping going on, and I think which is not good for our state. So from that point onwards, when somebody asked, the chief minister, asked Pitt, who is Badruddin, we have still to, decode him actually. We have not yet decoded him actually. And I think it's time that we should know what Badruddin stands for. Because he is also, I think all of us know, that he is also the president of the Assam State Jamiat Ulema-e-Hind. And this is not the Ulema-e-Islami, this is Ulema-e-Hind. The part of that Ulema-e-Hind which actually wanted, it is the Indian Muslims, the Muslims who wanted to stay in India. His part
Right.
of that.
I'm coming to hold your thoughts.
Let me also tell you that the AGP in 1996, they took support of this Jamiat Ulema-e-Hind, of which Badruddin Ajmal was the president then. And the same thing happened later on.
Okay,
It
point
is only
noted, Rajiv Handique.
Yeah.
Point noted. Let me turn to Swapnanil Baruah. Swapnanil Baruah, basically the point which Dr. Rajiv Handique is making is that the BJP is trying to vilify Badruddin Ajmal, trying to create a scare around the man for its own benefit.
No, definitely not creating a scare, because see, Congress has vacated its generally its constituents as it spread, maybe even in 2001. It has vacated the space and has been pushed towards the minorities only as their only savior. So that will bring them closer to Badruddin Sahab. And so far as the other things are concerned, it has never been a case where we have gone against Badruddin Ajmal per se, but as I said, the party line has been that there is a cultural threat to the whole social fabric of Assam, especially in the preservation of our age-old culture, which is nearly 5,000 years old, and the bond which exists. And as you said, this is not against the Ajmal that is being featured there is not a Muslim Ajmal that is we are targeting, but what we are saying is that who does not culturally accept wholeheartedly the concept of...
I'll just have one
Yes.
point here. As Baruah has said, we have seen during the Panchayat election, AIUDF had a very good relation with the BJP. Then how come he can deny that? Now, he is talking about the 5,000 year civilization.
no.
But yes, that in Panchayat election, we have seen it. It was very clear in front of
See, the
everybody
issue
that
as
there
it
was
is
an
that-
ally
no,
with the
see,
BJP
you-
and AIUDF.
देखिए
So
आप
this is
आज
again-
चंपक कलिता जी
again-
चंपक कलिता जी
again-
मेरा सीधा प्रश्न है आपसे आप अभी बोल रहा है कि बीजेपी कम्युनल है लेकिन आपका मित्र दल के स्पोक्स पर्सन डॉक्टर जूडी शर्मा बोर्डोलोई के कह रहा है कि पंचायत इलेक्शन में आपका भी मतलब अलायंस था
My point of view, मेरा point हमेशा
मतलब
एक ही
समझौता
रहा
कुछ
कि
टाइप का
it's-
समझौता था बीजेपी के साथ ये तो सही है It's a fact.
मैं ये जो हम बीजेपी
It's a fact. जुडी शर्मा बोर्डोलोई is stating a
मैं
fact.
बात नहीं मैं
Fact.
इससे जुडी शर्मा बोर्डोलोई को डिनाई करता हूँ इस चीज का बीजेपी और AIUDF का कभी कहीं भी किसी भी स्टेज में
ये कोई deny
अलायंस
नहीं कर
नहीं
सकता
है
है।
Deny नहीं है, ये
मैं
fact
डिनाई
है।
करता फैक्ट नहीं है
ये fact
नहीं
है।
है फैक्ट देखिए मैं आपको बोला आप एंटी डिफेक्शन लॉ अप्लाइड नहीं है पंचायत में लेकिन यहाँ बीजेपी का वहां जाता है AGP का वहां का ऐसा है देखिए मैं वन मिनट
मुझे एक चीज बोलना है जब कोई अपने कम्युनिटी के लिए फाइट कर रहा है इट्स नथिंग रॉन्ग इन दैट कम्युनिटी को फाइट करो कम्युनिटी के लिए तो हर कोई हम लोग रीजनल कम्युनिटी
मैं एक बात
नेशनल
मुझे क्लियर करने
हम लोग
दीजिए
सेकुलर लेकिन हाँ कोई मुस्लिम के लिए काम कर रहा है कोई ताया होम के लिए काम कर रहा है दिस इज ये काम करना किसी एक कम्युनिटी के लिए कोई गलत नहीं है लेकिन working towards your community is a good thing but you disliking some other community is a communal thing
मैं अभी
which
अभी
I
हम लोग
always
का
find in BJP
बीजेपी
RSS
का
and
बीजेपी का सज्जन बीजेपी का
हिंदुत्व का उनका इफेक्ट थोड़ा गलत लगता है जबकि मैं यही मानती हूँ कि जो कांग्रेस का स्टैंड रहा है हमेशा कि हम लोग हमेशा कम्युनिटी जो भी कम्युनिटी के लिए काम करते हैं वी ऑलवेज ब्रिंग देम टुगेदर इन अ प्रोग्रेसिव वे लेकिन कांग्रेस इज ऑलवेज अ प्रोग्रेसिव पार्टी कभी कम्युनिटी के लिए बात
मुझे बीजेपी का सज्जन का मैं क्लियर कर दूं कि 5000 साल का कल्चर के बारे में बोल रहा है लेकिन ये मुस्लिम इटसेल्फ 14 साल पुराना है अभी आप 5000 साल और 1400 साल पुराना है। अभी आप देखिए, अभी उन्होंने एक हमारे स्पीच में था कि यहाँ 600-800 साल मुगलों ने राज किया, 200 साल ब्रिटिश ने राज किया, तो अभी हिंदू संकट में नहीं आया। लेकिन अभी बीजेपी आने के बाद हिंदू संकट में आ गया। ये इनका आपका ये नैरेटिव है। मैं आपको बताऊं, देखिए, आप अगर सनातन संस्कृति के बारे में बोलेंगे, सनातन संस्कृति के बारे में बोलेंगे, तो आपके बाद आप बोलेंगे, देखिए मैं बताऊं,
120 साल यहाँ माइग्रेंट्स हैं, उन लोग ने अपना
भगाइए ना, असम में कौन है, भगाइए ना। देखिए, आपका अगर सनातन का अगर बेसिक लाइन आप पकड़िएगा, सर मैं आप अगर सनातन का बेसिक लाइन पकड़िएगा,
उसका एसिमिलेशन प्रोसेस में कोई एसिमिलेशन प्रोसेस में कोई इच्छा नहीं है।
Let us not, this is not the debate. Let us come to the focus of the debate. Champak Kalita,
सनातन को पकड़ते हैं, तो सनातन का जो
let's
बेसिक लाइन है, अजो अयो
ये-
रजा परम बेरेते गन्ना लोगु चेता साम उदा चैता नाम तो वसुदेव कुटुंबकम। कहाँ चला गया ये आपका कल्चर?
let us focus on rebel. Now let me ask this Shamkano Mahanta this question. Now Rajib Handique said Shamkano Swapnanil Baruah has defended, he is denied. Now my question is what Rajiv Gandhi has said, whether the BJP is trying to create a scare around Badruddin Ajmal for its own obvious benefit. What is your assessment to that?
See, this is a political game. Political game has to be played on numbers. See, the concerns of typical Assamese people is not about religious angle. See, very sorry to say, Champak, you know it well. The large scale, the population explosion that is happening, that is scaring Assamese people. And that is creating a large discontented people. And they are worried about the future. That is a reality. The reality is not about religion. The reality about, very sorry to say, and it's a fact, there's a difference between, it's not about religion.
So
now let me finish the Wasbir. So that is creating a political opportunity. As a BJP as a political party is taking the political opportunity that yes, there's a fight of civilization in terms of population explosion which might scare or making Assamese people worried. So that is creating a political opportunity and BJP taking political full advantage of it. But the bigger issue for me right now, the bigger issue what I'm talking to the people of Upper Assam, people are more concerned about the benefits they are getting. The beneficiary economy is actually making a decisive political impact on Assam's political spectacle. What I'm trying to impress upon you is that the fight of civilization is going on in terms of political perspective. I'm not interested in this. I'm interested in what is affecting the common people. When my present political assessment is a beneficiary politics in terms of reducing the corruption. Those issues are affecting or creating an impact. But yes, Congress is coming back strongly in last few days by very strong political management of anti-CA mood. So Congress is going to fight this election well. That is my prescription as of now.
Whether I would like to ask my producers whether we have that bite where Dr. Himanta Biswa Sharma has said that Ajmal is definitely a factor in the Assam elections. If we have the bite, we'll play it now. Okay, let me bring before going to the break, Amrit Khataniar, what is the bigger threat in Assam? As Shyam Mahanta said that it's clash of civilization which the BJP is talking about is basically the fear of the indigenous Assamese people being swamped by people of immigrant descent.
No, that's a fact. But for which matter, this car has added fuel to it. Now, car, you have seen, if you see, the car will bring the Assamese people to its minority in terms of its language, its religion, whatsoever. So, basically, even if we see, we are talking about the AJP or Rajib is not in the forefront because the funfair that the other parties are doing in the name of election campaigning is missing with us because we are going to the people. One-to-one interactions. We are taking the people into confidence. People have realized the threat, and we could make them convinced. Corruption is in the highest mood of in the state today.
All right.
Highest
Before going to the break, let's listen into the bite of Dr. Himanta Biswa Sharma on this particular issue.
না আজমল বিজেপিৰ কাৰণে নহয় অসম আৰু ভাৰতৰ বাবে তেওঁ এটা ডাঙৰ ফেক্টৰ কাৰণ তেওঁৰ পলিটিক্সটো হ'ল কমিউনিয়েল পলিটিক্স গতিকে এই কমিউনিয়েল পলিটিক্সটো আমাৰ কাৰণে ফেক্টৰ ইলেকশ্যনত তেওঁ ফেক্টৰ নহয় তেওঁ আমাৰ সভ্যতা সংস্কৃতিৰ কাৰণে ফেক্টৰ ইলেকশ্যনটোতো আমি হৰুৱাই দিম বাট হি ইজ এ থ্ৰেট টু আৱাৰ চিভিলাইজেশ্যন আৱাৰ চিভিলাইজেশ্যনেল ভেলু গতিকে তেওঁৰ লগত যুদ্ধটো অলপ ওপৰ পৰ্যায় তেওঁৰ আমাৰ সভ্যতাৰ শত্ৰু তেওঁ আমাৰ ভাৰতীয় মূল্যবোধৰ শত্ৰু এতিয়ালৈকে মই দুই এটা সমষ্টিক বাদ দি কংগ্ৰেছ ইউডিএফক ক'তো আমি দেখা নাই প্ৰাৰম্ভিক কথা কিন্তু কেম্পেইন চলক এনেই জহাই কোৱাটো ভাল নহয় কিন্তু আজিৰ মুহূৰ্তত আমি যিটো আশা কৰিছিলোঁ
I'll go for a break. When I come back, I'll take response to that and take the debate forward. Don't go away. I'll be right back. Welcome back. Dr. Jury Sharma Bordoloi. This alliance, let's go to another aspect of this alliance. You know, in that meeting the other day, Susmita Dev, one of your top leaders, by far one of your very important face from the Barak Valley that has 15 seats. Susmita Dev openly criticized, see, there were a lot of rumors for half a day, there were rumors floating around, oh, she has resigned from the Congress, then she has resigned from the Mahila Congress, then after all, by the evening, everything was clear that no, she has not resigned. That's a different thing. But she has confirmed to our channel after landing in Silchar that she was extremely upset because several key seats were given to the AIUDF. Yes, will you again say that this is the winnability and election is a game of numbers? But the fact is, a top leader of your party is absolutely upset and she has gone public on it.
I don't say rumors are rumors after all. She had been upset.
That is not rumor. Her resignation was a rumor,
her
but
resignation
her
was a
dissatisfaction is not a rumor.
See, it could be personal also. Sometimes we are upset with some decision of the party as well. Sometimes we are upset with the leader's decision as well. Sometimes we are, we have to go by the party line after all. So she has also accepted it and she was upset for some time, but things have been sorted out. And now she is very happily campaigning for Barak Valley.
But don't you think that damage on an election eve, damage is already done when a top leader speaks her or his mind out?
See, sometimes some people are very vocal. It's very personal because when we are doing politics, we have to go by the political lines of our party. Sometimes we are more vocal, we say these are all personal views. Sometimes we are more, vocal than Binia. Sometimes we are vocal with our leaders. Sometimes the negotiations goes on. And she has been a very vocal party leader.
Do you think the damage has already been done?
But I don't think it's a damage. I don't think it's a damage. We have sorted out. We have sorted out the issue with all the leaders who were actually upset with the decisions. But now it's again a part and parcel. See, you have taken one name, I have answered, but there have been a lot of leaders who were upset and they have made some
that is why I was coming to that. Now, Rajib Handique, what is your considered view?
No, my point is, after any of these alliances, after ticket distribution, there is always, dissidence that grows because of the dissatisfaction of some candidate doesn't getting selected or not getting the ticket. So the point is, actually, how to control the dissidents. Now, BJP, it seems, is going overboard to control the dissidents. They have already pacified Shiladitya Dev, they have already pacified Vrindavan Goswami. So, I think that way it seems that BJP is doing a fine job, but there are still dissidents, I think, or dissident candidates who may play spoil sport for the Congress.
Let's have everybody on the screen.
If that is not taken care of.
Let's have everybody from the studio on the screen. Yes. Okay. Rajib Handique, hold your...
So that is the problem. Dissidents will be there, but then controlling the dissidents, I think, is more important. And how they do it is I think that will
It's not
that will
a
have a lot
question
of
of
bearing on the
dissidency.
election.
I just
on the
interfere
outcome.
here. It's not
Yes,
a question
Jury.
of it's not a question of dissidency or something. There has been no dissidency in our party till now. Yes,
Oh, yeah,
people have their
maybe-
personal
maybe-
views.
maybe-
They're
maybe
upset.
that is
Even
not
in
the right
BJP, we
word.
see
Maybe-
that. Even in AIUDF, I will see that. Even in BPF, we will see
Let
that.
me ask
It's
Champak
always
Kalita
happening
this
in any
question.
political
Let us
party. It's
let us
not a
have
question
Rajib
of
in his
dissidency.
phone plate.
Let us
Okay.
have a lighter
Yeah.
experience of this.
Maybe it is because of dissatisfaction rather.
You know,
You can call it dissatisfaction. I well agree with it,
in
but
the
not a
BJP, the
dissidence.
time that is allowed, you know, for day one when you are denied the ticket, the candidates have been told before, you know, day one, you scold, you vent out all your anger on whoever you think is.
But
day
Swapnanil
two,
Baruah, please don't forget that in your party also, at least a few leaders openly expressed their dissatisfaction.
Yeah, but they
Dilip Pal has quit and is
retract.
an independent. No,
They-
Dilip Pal
they-
has not
Anyway,
retracted.
Dilip Pal has-
Somrangan has not
Guwahati.
no, someone who has left has left.
And
No,
then
left
interesting
was them, left
was
the
be
party.
that
Other people
this
have
election
accepted,
will
and if you
the
see-
BJP if is feeling too much of overconfident, they must be they have to be very careful. Number one, if you say Naharkatia, with the SGP candidate coming up, with Lurin Gogoi coming up, Naharkatia is going for tough competition. Number one. Number two, Lakhimpur, Utpal Datta and Manav Dek are competing. So what I'm trying to say here, and especially the Metro Zone, some very weak candidate in Upper Assam. It might really affect them. This is a very tight election where Congress-AIUDF is going to sweep a particular vote base. Absolute sweep. The Lower Assam and what I'm trying to say is, if BJP is not careful at managing the electoral dynamics in terms of friendly contest, might be pulling them down big time. It will reduce the vote. So that is very.
We are
done our
absolutely what
calculations,
Shamkana Mahanta has
absolutely
said
has
that
that.
basically the moral of the story, what Shamkana Mahanta is saying, that it's going to be a tough contest. We will discuss prospects in our little later debates, but what Shamkanu has basically saying that this election is going to be a bitterly fought and tough election. Now let me ask this question to Champak Kalita. Champak Kalita, मैंने जो सवाल डॉक्टर जूरी शर्मा बोर्डोलोई से किया था अभी की थी थोड़े देर पहले. Now AIUDF में भी लोग हैं जो प्राइवेट कन्वर्सेशंस में भी बोल रहा है कि दे आर एक्सट्रीमली अपसेट with the ticket sale, and they said that our party has completely surrendered to the Congress. सिर्फ 14 में आप लोग खेल रहे हैं, 5 में आप लोग का friendly contest है. So your party at one point you got 28 seats. Don't forget that is your benchmark. But आप आज का तारीख में you are contesting only 14 seats and 5 seats are friendly contest. So you have surrendered to the Congress also. If we look at the thing from the other side, ये भी तो सच है.
देखिए मैं आपको बताऊं, मैं आपका प्रश्न में आऊँ उससे पहले हिमंत विश्व का स्टेटमेंट के बाद अगर मैं नहीं बोलूँ तो मेरा स्पोक्समैनशिप का जो पोस्ट है इससे मैं न्याय नहीं करूँगा. तो हिमंत विश्व जी ने पास में शिलादित्य को बिठा के जो बोला, एक तो शिलादित्य को प्लीज करने के लिए बोला.
उससे पहले भी उन्होंने बोला था.
उससे मुझे एक बार आप फ्रीली बोलने नहीं दिया. एक बार अगर ये नहीं बोला और उनका जो बोलना है तो हिमंत विश्व का जो बोलना है ये ह्यूमैनिटी के लिए थ्रेट है. ही प्लान टू डिस्टर्ब असम इन लॉन्ग टर्म. इसीलिए हिमंत विश्व ऑलवेज चेंज हिज गोल पोस्ट. और उनका जो सोच है असम का ह्यूमैनिटी के लिए थ्रेट है. और सुनिए मैं आपको बताऊं जो उन्होंने पहले भी बताया कि यहाँ बायोलॉजिकल अटैक 35% का वोट नहीं चाहिए, मियाँ का वोट नहीं चाहिए. ये जो उनका प्लान है लॉन्ग टर्म, इसीलिए हिमंत विश्व
मैं आपका बता दूं, मैं आपका फॉर योर इंफॉर्मेशन लेट मी टेल यू, बीजेपी का नेशनल प्रेसिडेंट असम इंचार्ज जय पंडा जी के साथ मेरा एक्सक्लूसिव इंटरव्यू कल हुआ था. मैंने इसी प्रश्न को उनसे पूछा था कि बीजेपी, does the BJP, Assam is 35% Muslim population, does the BJP want Muslim votes or the BJP will say that no, we are not bothered about the 35% Muslim vote. उनका उत्तर क्या था? If possible, I'll ask my producers to play that bite. We had used it in our news yesterday also. A special bite already cut. It's there. We had used it in our news bulletin. Now Jay Panda ने कहा था Muslim vote is important for us, and he thinks that a bigger section of the more Muslim votes, Muslims will vote for the BJP at this time. Yes. ये उनका कहना था. अभी क्या बोलेंगे आप?
तो मैं पांडा जी को वेलकम करता हूं, लेकिन पांडा जी डोगरेपन है बीजेपी का, तो हिमंत विश्व को सैक करे. हिमंत को सामने रख के ये बात बोलना, इसको
बिस्वा
हिंदी में
शर्मा,
दो गलेपन,
don't
नहीं यही
twist.
तो चीज है ना, दो
Don't
गले,
twist.
बीजेपी का दो गलापन यही है,
don't
भांडा
twist.
बोलेगा चाहिए और उनका स्टार कैंपेनर हिमंत बिस्वा बोलेगा नहीं चाहिए, तो इसका मतलब क्या है? इसका मतलब है अभी हमको अंधेरा में रखना, देखिए अभी हम लोग को चर्चा करना चाहिए अनएम्प्लॉयमेंट,
मेरा बात सुनिए,
इकोनॉमिक
चंपक
रेट,
कलिता,
हम लोग का क्या हाल है, असम का क्या बाढ़ है, कटाव है, लेकिन जो नैरेटिव्स बीजेपी बनाना चाहती है, हिमंत बिस्वा जो एंटी ह्यूमन नैरेटिव बनाना चाहते हैं और जय पंडा उसको जो मरहम लगा रहे हैं, ये बीजेपी का दो गलापन है।
Don't give a twist. Don't give a twist. हिमंत बिस्वा शर्मा ने, मेरी बात सुनिए, हिमंत बिस्वा शर्मा ने कभी नहीं कहा कि मुस्लिम वोट्स उनका नहीं चाहिए। ये बात उन्होंने कभी नहीं कही।
कई बार कहा है, आप अवार्ड पे बैठे रहे, आपका इस पे बैठ के बोला है, असेंबली में बैठ के बोला है, असेंबली में बैठ के बोला है,
असेंबली में कहा,
और नहीं तो 35, 65 कई बार बोला है।
Can I clarify?
Yeah, clarify.
The
BJP spokesman is here.
the statement of the honorable minister is very clear that any Indian-hearted Muslim is welcome to vote, and we welcome his participation in the elections, particularly in favor of the Bharatiya
फिर
Janata
गोलमोल
Party.
जवाब, एनी इंडियन हार्ट, अरे ये क्या है यार, ये इंडियन है कि नहीं वो तो कागज बताएगा ना, हार्ट से थोड़ा बताएगा। अभी आप देखिए, अभी सावरकर इंडियन है लेकिन वो ब्रिटिश का चमचा था, लेकिन है तो इंडियन, तो सावरकर के बारे में बोलिए ना।
Let's listen to what
अभी आरएसएस 52 years 52 साल वो अपना,
There are different types of
Let us
Muslims.
listen
in
to
Assam.
what Jay
There are
Panda
the
said.
indigenous Assamese Muslims. There are the indigenous Muslims in the Barak Valley, and there are Muslims who are of immigrant descent. Now, I mean, my question is, does the BJP expect Muslim votes as well? Because a lot of people say that in 2016, there's a sizable amount of Muslims also voted for the BJP. Would you expect the Muslims to vote for the BJP, or would you say that, okay, we don't want the Muslim votes?
All over the country, and this includes Assam, as we go forward into the next few years, into the next generation,
Right.
you will see larger and larger number of Muslim votes for the BJP. Because under Prime Minister Modi, we have brought about reforms that have long been talked about by reformers, by everybody actually. Now, for example, you take triple talaq reform. Now, there is no reason that Muslim women should have discrimination. They should have the same rights as any Indian woman of any religion. Now, triple talaq reform will liberate, it is just starting to have an effect. It will start lifting the oppression against Muslim women over the next generation, those who come into marriageable age increasingly. So, we will definitely see more and more support in the coming years. Now, in the current situation, you are right, there are different demographics among the Muslim population. Now, remember, we are very clear, when the schemes that are implemented by either the union government under Modi ji, like Ujjwala scheme, whether it is Arunodaya scheme by the BJP NDA government here in Assam, it doesn't discriminate on religion, it doesn't discriminate on your caste or creed or your anything else. So, this fake negative image on BJP that some sections try to paint is gradually wearing away as we have a continued BJP government at the national level under Modi ji and also in Assam. So, I will say, in this election itself, I think we will see increased Muslim votes for BJP. I have sensed that when I have been on
that. Is very clear. Jay Panda
That has been very clear. I must say one thing. This is very clear from Jay Panda ji, but this has been very clear from Himanta Biswa Sharma ji that he has been always telling we don't need Muslim vote. And what you are scrolling is like you are not targeting minority leader. BJP has said it's not.
We are not.
You are targeting. You are targeting Badruddin ji.
No,
you are targeting all the minorities.
We are targeting his ideology or his
What is the ideology?
Why he is trying of non-assimilation?
आप बोलिए ना क्या है, लिस्ट दीजिए, लिस्ट तो दीजिए।
When it comes to minority, what do you mean? What do you mean by the minority leader?
Non-assimilation in heart and soul into the
When they are Indian, they have the voting right. They have the voting right. They are citizens of India.
He has the right to vote. He has the right to vote.
बीजेपी को हनुमान चाहिए, हनुमान।
नहीं, don't go to that level.
What is being heard and sold?
No, let us take a view from Shyam Mahanta and Dr. Rajib Handique. What do you understand by this what are words? I would say
The election is on, fully on. So Congress-AIUDF is gelling well, and this is what I have seen.
I'm not
Demand.
asking you to wrap
What
up.
what I'm trying to
Comment
say.
on this. Comment on this aspect. I don't want a wrap up from you. We have a lot of time for a wrap up. This aspect, what are words on this issue? That Badruddin Ajmal is saying this. The BJP is accusing the AIUDF and so on. On this aspect, the clash of civilizations. What is your considered view?
See, for me, I do not want to talk about political term. As an Assamese, I want to talk. I'm worried about the large-scale immigration and the population explosion. I have no problem of Bangladeshi origin people coming here. I have no problem with that. My problem is that when they are phenomenally growing at that 12 person per family, there lies my problem. That is an issue, and typical Assamese, irrespective of political affiliation, has it. And that has become a political issue which is taken by BJP. That is one part. So this is beyond politics. This is an insecurity of a common Assamese person.
Community.
So this has become
you
an
can't
issue.
call it
Then
a
now question is the
Yes,
new
that's
generation.
exactly.
The new
What
generation, yes,
Shamkanu is
one
talking
new
about is
generation
Assamese
immigrant.
sentiment.
People
When-
are reducing that
political
issue.
parties
How
That
can you
form
tell-
on that
family
issue.
explosion
When
is
you-
reducing,
you
but the
are
problem
trying to
remains,
bring
and
Hindu
that has become.
immigrants.
No, I'm trying to say
When
this is an
BJP
issue. As a person, I'm saying this is an issue, and that
I
has become a
disagree
political
with
term.
Shamkanu here also. There is no
Briefly.
श्याम कानू जी को प्रॉब्लम नहीं होगा, लेकिन AIUDF को, चंपक, कलिता को प्रॉब्लम है. नॉट ए सिंगल बांग्लादेशी नहीं आना चाहिए और नहीं रहना चाहिए.
मुझे भी प्रॉब्लम
हमें प्रॉब्लम है. नॉट ए सिंगल
अगर बांग्लादेशी है तो कोई भी किसी भी
not a
religion
single,
का
not
कोई
a
भी नहीं आना
single.
चाहिए. तो
Okay,
इसीलिए
okay,
NRC को
okay.
लाने वाले भी कांग्रेस ही था.
Okay,
NRC को
Rajib-
सपोर्ट करने वाला भी कांग्रेस ही
Rajiv
था.
Handique,
No,
what
I
is
was
your view?
saying that
I'm
any kind
running
of
out of
immigrant.
time.
I'm not talking
Yeah,
about
any
Bangladeshi,
kind of
not a
immigration should
single
be stopped.
Bangladeshi.
Rajiv Handique, your thoughts?
Yeah, I'm really concerned about the type of rhetoric that is on and the communalization of politics, which has actually, it has already partitioned our country once. And we must understand one thing, that one communalism does not end the other. Each feeds on the other, and both fatten. So that is the problem. And as a teacher, actually, I'm very concerned about the future of this country, where, this ghettoization that is going on, the type of vilification, or you can say a demonization of persons like Badruddin Ajmal that is going on, it is actually taking us backward. And we are getting ghettoized as a country as a whole. And you know the situation and what is happening, the international impression that we are carrying. So I think it has got a big bearing on us. We have to, responsible politicians have to actually tone down their words. They have to see to it. Winning election is important, no doubt. But there are other ways that elections can be won. Not by communalizing, not by polarizing the people, creating barriers amongst them. Because
Our
that is
democracy
why
is in danger somewhere or the
that is
other
the
with the
reason
hands
why,
of
Not democracy, humanity also.
humanity. Democracy, humanity.
Please let me finish. That is the reason why I brought in this issue, that we must remember that Badruddin Ajmal, he is also the president of the Assam State Jamiyat Ulema-e-Hind. Because
So how does it matter? Why should it matter?
matters.
Why
No,
should
no,
you be
because
bothered?
you see-
He is the president of a
because-
political
He is not
party.
bothered.
Is that enough?
No,
Is that
because-
not enough? He is the president of a
no.
political party. Is that not enough? Why should it bother whether he represents any religious or any cleric, any other organization?
No, because
He is also a businessman. Don't forget
it is
that.
very, very
He is a
important.
political
It is
leader.
very-
He is also some kind of a religious leader.
Wasbir, please hear me out. Please hear me out. Please hear me out. I am saying this because this is the same organization of Muslims, Indian Muslims. They openly said that we are not going with Pakistan. We are not going with Jinnah.
I
This is
know.
the
One nation
I
theory,
know,
one
I
nation
know, I
theory.
know. But
One
that
nation
is-
theory
that
by
was-
Jamiyat
and this is something
Ulema-e-Hind.
we have to
70 years
understand.
ago they played a role. We credit the organization for that. But India liberated Bangladesh in 1972, 71. Continuously we have to do something. We cannot just do
That's
nothing
what Assam
in
Accords
Bangladesh.
for.
and
That's why we have brought Assam
Assam
Accords.
Accords.
Anyway, I am running out of time. Amrit, Khataniar, your thoughts on this debate, this discourse?
No,
Very-
look, the whole,
very quickly. I'm
whole-
absolutely running out of time.
whole election manifesto, if you see of the parties, they are not coming to the main issues. And Assam Jatiya Parishad is going to the people with the issues that is concerned. For example, the implementation of the Assam Accord, Clause 6 is an important vital parameter that has been ignored by many parties. BJP is simply saying that we have committed and we have fulfilled our commitments. And this is a bogus statement that BJP is making. They have not fulfilled any of the commitments. Recently, they have increased the salary of the tea workers. It has gone to the rough whether it is lying in the court. Now, secondly, they have not, the corruption is the order of the day. If I have the corruption list, there will be a time will run out. Then they have not committed, they have not fulfilled any of the commitments. No Bangladeshi has gone. The price rise has been havoc. Then petrol cost, fuel cost, LPG cost. Now they are saying that we are getting now beneficiary. They are trying to do it for the point of election manifesto. Nothing else. They have not beneficiary.
Let me come with the final comments, Dr. Judy Sharma Bordoloi. How do you see the road ahead?
See, to be very precise, I am also concerned about the progressive society. I am concerned about the saving our democracy. We are concerned about our humanity. So we have to be very, very concerned about how we move politically also. But here it comes like we have to save the democracy. That is number one. And Congress is always in favor of this, that we have to, whatever comes, we have to be defending the democracy of our country with everybody. In Assam, we have to look at the sentiment of the Assamese. We are against immigration, irrespective of any religion. We are in favor of our Assam Accord, and we will stick to the last moment. This is what our dream of our Tarun Gogoi sir, and we will carry forward.
Democracy has to be protected. No one can deny that. Final comments, 20 seconds to you, Shyam Kanu Mahanta.
I think this elections agenda will be, yes, the narrative of the civilization narrative will carry on, will grow bigger in next 15 days, and it's a communally charged up election. There's no denying that point. But I think the bigger issue for me is talking about increasing the state domestic product of Assam, how to improve Assam as an economy. It's something everybody is missing out. Everybody's focus is on beneficiary. One thing I must realize, the main focus is on beneficiary impact will decide the election victory. But for me, the agenda should be how to improve Assam as a society, Assam as an economy. That is where we are missing out.
That is a very important point. Shyam Kanu Mahanta said. Last word to you, Mr. Swapnanil Baruah.
BJP is committed to bringing out the migrant Muslims from the ghettoization that is being done by Badruddin Ajmalji.
Okay, but that's a very crisp last word. BJP will bring the Muslims from the ghettoization. It's a level the charge. I think this debate will go on. We will hear more of this as the days progresses. The election tempo is just picking up. Parties are on the verge of releasing the final list of their candidates. The BJP third and final list is going to be out any moment now. The Congress is also all set to come up with their last and final list. We'll have to wait for that. I have absolutely no time right now. My producers are telling it 5 seconds, Champak, Kalita, but we stick to 5 seconds, please.
Sarve bhavantu sukhina, sarve santu niramaya, ma bhadrani passantu, ma kachit dukkha bhav bhavet, sanatan, alhamdulillah rabbul alamin, Islam, or sabhata. Tehzeeb is complementary, not compartmentalized.
Absolutely, tehzeeb, that applies to everybody in a civilized society. That is extremely important. On that note, I end this edition of Northeast Tonight. I thank all my panelists for participating in the program and the viewers for watching the show. Good night and goodbye.